Good morning all. Thanks for being here on another episode of the Biz Breakfast. Steph and Neil you'll recognise, but we are really pleased to welcome Ninda Jo Howell this morning, who joins us. Ninda, we have been hearing quite a bit in the last few days since the most recent announcement around the fact that the climb down from the mountain is probably the hardest part of all. Now that lends itself, in the context of the disruption that most businesses have seen, to some quite interesting thought around what the next few months holds for us. Could you start by just giving us a brief introduction around you and your business, and then telling us what you think about this climb down from a mountain that we're now all facing?
Yeah, I'm Nachural FBC Manby Bowdler. I run an event production company, so we do awards events throughout the UK. I run a record company as well, so I understand a bit about disruption. And a little bit of property as well. So where are we standing? Well, look, it's uncertain. The one thing that was certain back in March was we were all told just to stay at home. So there's a pretty binary decision, yes and no. So everybody was comfortable with that. But as we now see the other side, and as we come out, there is a lot of uncertainty because certain sectors are being asked to come back, certain sectors are not being asked to come back. They can only come back if they can do certain things like PPE. Do they have enough equipment? Do they have the right health and safety things in place? So that's leaving a lot of people vulnerable, uncertain. So for those people, who deal, largely walk around, pay things in cash. Well, it's quite difficult to pay things now in cash.
Yeah.
You need a credit card or a Visa card, and they won't accept it. And for those who catch public transport, you need to go in your car because it's not safe. And if you don't have a car, maybe this is where the autonomous vehicle now comes in, and you jump into a car and it takes you there, and you haven't got to share it with anyone. And of course, people generally now are worried about their workplace. Will they be asked to go back or work at home? And if they're working at home, how do they feel about now working at home? And how do they understand what their role going forward is? And of course, those in manufacturing, normally in a recession, in other words, when an economy dips, manufacturers tend to invest in change. And part of that change normally is more automation, more robots. And of course, robots don't suffer from social distancing. So how do individuals fear for their future? Those who have no digital skills or little education will now be exposed, because we're moving into a digital world where people are working through digital tools. Manufacturing is becoming increasingly digital with robots. So where does that leave people like that, really? We've seen an upsurge in people buying online. The Amazons now, trucks flying around everywhere. And that's only 15% of trade. That will increase. Where does that leave the retail people who work in retail? Is that it? And of course, people in retail have been decimated. The high street has been decimated, and maybe this is going to accelerate it. So, a lot of issues, a lot of uncertainty, and I think digital and tech and leadership and skills are going to decide what that future looks like.
Absolutely, and lots of commonalities that I think we can draw from that, Neil. What does our climb down the mountain look like?
Looks like a couple of pieces of paper in a notebook at the moment, but we're putting our plans in place. We want to get the offices up and ready, see clients in the first couple of weeks in June. We've listened to the team around us. They want a sort of a hybrid model going forward in terms of time in the office and time at home. So there's some changes we need to do in the offices, and to do that, and add some more technology in. We're revamping our cycle to work scheme, which would be good for the likes of you.
Except I've
rather than
just already bought my bike, Neil, so thank you for revealing.
And then make sure that we're, as Linda says, down to the leadership, making sure we're communicating almost on a daily basis. Every time we learn something, we tell the staff what we've learned and how that's going to impact them going forward, and the plans we're putting in place and how we're adapting.
Yeah, and I think that communication point is really key, because I think the difference this time, and the reason that perhaps people are feeling a bit more uncertain, is that, as Linda says, our original instructions on the 23rd of March were really clear, and now there's this almost discretion and sort of autonomy that's been handed across to us. How are your clients in business seeming to handle that, Steph? What's their approach this side of the most recent announcement looking like?
Well, I think there's a lot of, where there's disruption, there is opportunity, and we're seeing a massive influx in inquiries at the moment from new startups who have seen opportunity in the markets, and that are looking to get started. There's a lot of there's some consultancies that have started in order to help businesses implement technology, because that in itself is quite a challenge to do successfully. We're seeing existing clients look for different opportunities going across different sectors, to diversify and to then start becoming part of the supply chains of the industries that are still very much in motion. And with the announcement on Sunday about manufacturing and construction going back, they were highlighted as particular industries. We're already seeing inquiries from people that want to now join into those supply chains, that have looked at their businesses overnight and gone, actually, we can do something there. And then the final point that we're seeing is we're seeing inquiries, and we're looking at now how we can support existing clients and new clients actually get them back to work. So we're looking at shift patterning software that might enable businesses to use that to give them more control, so they can abide by the social distancing measures, but also get back to work. So we're seeing lots of inquiries, lots of different methods that people want to use technology in order to help them get back to work, be that in an existing model, a new model, slightly different, or in a completely different sector. So with disruption, there is opportunity, and we're definitely seeing that in tech at the moment. Technology will help us navigate through this.
Yeah, so it sounds like that we just need some of this uncertainty to settle down, a bit more clarity around what we can and can't do, and then people will be back focused on the opportunities that are presenting themselves to us at the moment. There's some really good points covered this morning. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a good rest of the day, and we'll see everyone soon.
Thanks. Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, Linda.